Okay, so welcome back everyone. This is Akira's Anchor. Today we're going to be exploring my steampunk world, which this will be a short video because there's not much here. So I'm in a creative copy of the world just because it'd be easier to look at things and see them. So let's check it out. Um, so this is basically it. This is kind of as far as I got with it. And for reasons, as you can see, it doesn't look very steampunky outside of a few things, but we'll go into that in a bit. So the first thing I built here was basically, the essential base build, which was this building right here, which is actually a replica of a real place called Carson Mansion that is in California. So basically, I just looked at the picture that was available, and came up with my own design as to how to make it work. Some design differences is that this side is supposed to be a little bit bigger, but when I was plotting it out, it was just kind of getting a little bit too big and overwhelming. And the other thing is that the picture, I pretty much could only see the front and I think like this side. So everything else I had to kind of improvise on. But otherwise I really do like this design. I think it's super neat. It's got lots of details. It's interesting to look at. And you're not bored. You're not bored when you look at this thing at all. So super happy about that. The downside is that there's so much space in it that I really didn't know what to do with all the space inside. So let's get down to the ground and we'll go inside and I'll show you what I did do. I forgot to adjust my sound, but since we're in creative, it shouldn't be like really bad. So this is basically just like your living room kind of space. So basically I just did a little bit of decoration and a couch in this room. Down here is where I had my boring storage room. Storage room. I usually put blocks in front of these so that I know what's in them, but apparently I didn't do that here. So I kind of remember where I had stuff, but not entirely. That's interesting. But anyway, nothing exciting to look at down there. So we have that sitting room. This was going to be a library space, but obviously I didn't get to that. I did a dining room here. So it's kind of nice. Yeah, I'm kind of down with that. And then this is the little kitchen. And that's kind of all that I really did in here. I didn't spend like a lot of time in this world. Maybe I would guess maybe like 6 months, a little bit longer than that. So like there's a lot of, oh, this is where I don't even know that I put one of these here. The enchanting table. But yeah, so there's just a lot of empty spaces, and this is where I put, so I can do the metal blast furnace, and that, so I can cook up the metals and all of that. So I think most of my time in this world was just spent, chopping down trees and collecting stuff to build this. And then I started to go onward. Does this go all the way down? No, I chopped that off. Oh, it's. I mean, like, I honestly, I like this building. I like this building a lot, but it's just the world that was just not going the way that I wanted it to, and of course that's my fault. But anyway, my second favorite thing, of course, man, and I love this. This is a Zeppelin. It's a Zeppelin mob spawner. And I really liked building this. It was, it's the first time that I built something up in the sky like this. So it was a little nerve-wracking. And, and I know the blocks are a little basic because mostly I just, used the stone because that's what I had, but otherwise, I mean, it's cool. It does the job. You can tell what it is. I like the propeller and the fins. Yeah, I really like that propeller. I think that's awesome. But yeah, so this is where you would come down and stand and do all your mob slaying. And you know, it has some pretty good, you know, spawnage in this, but there were times where it's like you're just kind of standing waiting for things to drop, that sort of thing. But like that. Okay, see, they're finally starting to drop. You know, so it does take a minute when you're standing up here to let things spawn and fall, so yeah, I mean, it is pretty good rates. Not bad at all. And then down here I just had, you know, the basic sorting for the things that I was getting out of it. You know, so yeah, obviously I spent some time up there. Oh yeah, I did have the contraption to release, and this is how I got my first villagers. Here's this. How did I have this set up? I mean, obviously it would pull these blocks out. Oh, that's what it would do. Okay, so I'd pull this out and let the zombie villager, you know, go on this block, and then I would drop that door and they would fall down here into this little trap, and then this is where I would cure him, and then this I would pull back and they would drop down into this side of the water hole. You know, so I would essentially let them be up there and cure them. This is just where you could drop down instead of climbing all the way down the ladder. And then in here, they would, when they came down there, they would just drop right into this mine cart. And then I carted them over to the little village farm area here. So that's how I got my first villagers in this realm. You know, so obviously I built that, and then I built this so that I had a spot to put them. So nothing super great about this build. Just a greenhousey looking thing to put my villagers. And then coming down here, this is where the villager trading hall, this weird building. Yeah, see, it's so obvious. I have no idea how to do steampunk. And it's just, I like the design of, you know, the cobble with the bricks. I think that's really cool, but overall design of this building is not, you know, nothing super great. I think I was thinking of putting like some words on this at some point, and that probably would have made it look better. I just have these little weird stone roads everywhere. But inside I just have your basic villager setup with, you know, their little stalls with their bed and their crafting thing. And then upstairs is where I had the other ones. And obviously, like, I had a carting system where when I would get bread, I would just I would lure it up to the roof here and get it in a mine cart and just cart it over and cut out this block, and then they were just in there, and then you break the mine cart and they would go whoo. So just basic simple things. This building is the Kelp Cafe. It is not the first Kelp Cafe that I did, but a modified version of one that I did in a different world. And by modified, I mean just the blocks that I used are different. But inside, this is a manual farm. There's absolutely nothing automatic about it at all. Let me get this potato out of my hand. Sorry. I keep running around with sharp objects and I shouldn't. But basically, it just runs on the fact that, you know, you have your kelp growing along the walls, and when it's all grown up, you know, trapdoors to keep your water in. When it's all grown up, you just do this. And you run around the entire outside until all your kelp flies up to the top. And you go up to the top and up on the, I don't know, stairs. There they are. And then you would just run around here and pick them all up. And just drop them into this box and it goes into an automatic smelter. So, you know, not automatic, but it did the trick. I'm probably out of fuel down there, and that's why they're not burning, or I turned it off or something, but that's okay. But overall, the interior, I put the tables in, and I didn't put any of the food bits in because, well, see, there's an example. Like, you'd fill the item frames up with food so that they look like they have, you know, people eating there and stuff. And then this was your bar, so these were supposed to be like different potions in these item frames to showcase like the different drinks that you had to offer. You know, very simple, you know, ceiling design. And like I said, this was the second one of these that I built. The first one was a little bit different. It was in a world that my brother and I played in when I came up with this design. And it's, you know, it's fine. But if you want to save yourself some time, you know, definitely build an automatic farm. And don't go through this. This is, yeah, this is my flower factory. And I do like the design of this. Like, I don't know where my brain went, but like, I started off thinking total steampunk, and then I just kind of started doing this style. And, you know, because, like I said, it turns out I have no idea how to do steampunk. And I do think that steampunk is really a lot better if you want to build really big buildings. And really big buildings isn't really like my style. I like to have buildings that are functional and not just full of empty space. Like my Carson mansion over there, it looks great, but there's nothing in there. So it's kind of like, in my mind, kind of, what's the point of making something that big if there's nothing in there? But anyway, so this is just my flower farm that I made. Obviously, I was growing warp mushrooms. I don't know what my plan for those were, but that's what I was doing. And I don't know if you've ever seen this. My versions of these are pretty bad. But if you've never seen these, what it is it's you have pistons that shake the ground back and forth, and then you have a dispenser underneath there that shoots up bone meal. So let me just turn it on for a hot second, and then it grows things, and it breaks them off, and then after a time you just turn it off. This one, see, in my design, I have to make sure that the blocks are over on the one side. Good example. There we go, finally. Hooray! So, you know, or else when I do the water collection, which my water collection thing isn't the best either, you just come over here and slap this button a few times, and it dispenses water out. I heard pistons going. And if you saw it from here, the water shoots out of there, and then it sends all your items down into the hoppers to collect it at the bottom. Like I said, this is not an original idea by any measure of the word. I just kind of watched some other videos and then came up with how I wanted to do it. How it would work best for me, I guess. But, ooh, these scaffolding ladders that I put everywhere. Ugh. Pain in the butt. But I think this was like the last thing that I built here. Because I kind of started over there and kind of worked my way in. This building, like I said, like I like this design. I think it's cool. But it's just not steampunk at all. But that's okay. You know, it's alright. In here was my little sheep shearing thing. So it's very small, it's very compact, but I have the sheep in here with automatic shears. Just a few, and then like if I needed to change the color of the that I wanted, I would just dye the sheep again. You know, different colors so I can collect a different color. In here was just like a little bee house. Well, I still don't exactly know how to make an automatic honey farm, so I just had this. I love the bees though; they're so cute. Of course, now they all went inside, but that's okay. But once again, like the design of the building, you know, it's cute. I like it. I got no problem with that. That one's probably the most steampunk looking out of all my buildings. This was, I think, just a wood storage house. Yeah, nothing special, just some boxes to hold some wood. I keep forgetting that. Because I always play in survival. I always forget, like, when I do a world like this and I switch it over to creative, that I can fly in that. So, I mean, the design of this one is alright. Like, I don't mind it at all. And then this was just like a little cross bridge over from this side. And then this was like the main bridge. And then I had... I don't remember. No, there's nothing. That's why I don't remember. Down here was like a little fishing. This was a spot where I would stand and fish. So I had like fishing buckets and stuff there. So I had a couple of these down here of areas that I could fish from. And then this little, because my original vision in picking this location is that I, you know, kind of how this was going was to put like bigger buildings up here and then try to put like little kind of compartmentalized houses or something down along the walls somehow of the river, you know, on both sides, with lots of little kind of crossways and different levels to get back and forth. Anyway, that was the idea. And the more I looked at it, the more I was like, I don't think it's gonna work the way that I wanted to, because I never go into anything with a full plan. I just kind of like have a base idea and then I go from there. But this was the sugarcane farm that I built. I like the design of it. I think it looks neat and interesting. And my minecarts are still working in here, but again, it's just basic automatic sugarcane farm with your pistons and observers. Nothing too fancy. And let me see if I actually did this or not. Nope, I didn't. I had a design for gears that were supposed to go on here. I don't know why I didn't put them on here. That was supposed to give it like a more mechanical feel. Maybe I just didn't build it big enough and decided not to change it after the fact. That's funny because, like, yeah, because I do have it somewhere. Like I was in some creative world somewhere and I designed the whole thing. But pretty much that's it. This is like as far as I got before I just got to a point and was looking around and saying like this isn't steampunk. Like there is nothing about this that is steampunk, and adding a bunch of copper tubes and stuff everywhere isn't really going to end up making it steampunk. And and it's okay. Like I'm okay with that. Plus there was functionality problems with the distances, like I would have to be over there for the kelp to grow, I would have to be over here for the sugarcane to grow. So it wasn't just it was a very poor layout on my part. I just didn't think it through properly, and I don't know, for some reason I didn't feel like at home in this world. I wasn't really comfortable. What I really missed was like the comfort, like the level of comfort that I had when I was building in Stone Mine, where I could just spend hours upon hours doing whatever I wanted to without having to worry about the sun going up and the sun going down. And it just, I missed that. Like I really don't like being in a world where I'm just always worried about if it's day or night. And to have spawn proofed all of this meant that I would have had to put like fences or a wall or something around everything, and made sure that I had plenty of torches, or else I could have just like torched the whole area. And like you can see, like I did a whole lot of torching, but a whole lot of torching. I always call myself a light Nazi because I use so many torches because I don't want to deal with mobs in places where I don't want them. I'm just that sort of player, I guess. But like I said, like it just comes down to like it's okay. It's okay to try something. And if it's not working out for you, it's perfectly okay to just walk away from it and say, like, this was fun. And I learned some things. And, and like I said, this build style that I was forming with these buildings, I really like it. Like, I like the way that they look. I like the aesthetics. I mean, obviously they don't fit together too well with the way that they're flowing. Because I don't know. I mean, they could probably go in a different order and they would flow better and look better together. But, it's cool. And that's the thing about Minecraft is you just come in, you mess around, you find out what works for you and what doesn't. And so when I decided to give up on this steampunk dream of mine, I didn't feel bad. It's okay. I did a lot of work on this. This took a long time to do. And it's still here, and I can come and see it whenever I want, and I'm fine with that. So without further ado, I'm going to wrap up this video. I hope you guys liked it. I know it'll be shorter, but thanks for hanging out with me.